Again, the record time was over.
Their whole
And
thing
it's
is a
a
show
spiral.
just to get you to do
It's
something.
a
That's
spiral
tantrum,
because she
typical
won't even
tantrum.
listen. Because
If
she can't
they're
use
slurring their speech, if they are
subtitles in
verbal,
German to
and
translate what I'm
they
saying.
look like they're in pain. They're having a really difficult time. If they're doing things like drooling or hitting themselves repeatedly, or just having looks like the worst day of their lives, they're probably
I
having a sensory
got told to be
meltdown.
quiet.
Again, it's
So
not
I
always easy
learned
to
how
tell
to
because
hold
what
my
might
breath.
start as a tantrum could lead into a sensory meltdown because they're getting worked up. So yeah, with tantrums versus sensory
So much
meltdowns, it's
damage.
not always easy to tell.
And
It's
who
kind of
has
like a
to
sneeze or a
cope it up?
stomachache. Was the sneeze
Me.
caused by
Alone.
pepper or
And
dust
there I
allergy
be too
or
much.
cold? At first blush, it's not easy to tell.
Go to talk
Same
to
thing with a
therapist.
stomachache. You don't always know what caused
Call
it.
the
So a lot of people might be
crisis
wondering, based on what
hotline.
they saw earlier in this
thank you.
video, 6 stages of a meltdown, aren't there 3? And what they're referring to, and a lot of people call it different things, but it's basically that bell curve that you see. And the 3 stages of meltdown are basically rumbling, rage, and recovery. It's basically the same bell curve. This one goes into a little bit more detail, and that's why I'm using it. This book actually was intended for teachers, and but it applies to home life as well. The basic takeaway is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of medicine. That is to say, prevent the meltdown from happening in the first place. I'm sure you've heard this many times before.
The
You
smile
just have
of
to
their
be
oldest
sensitive
boy
to
is
the signals that they're
a
giving. If
copy
you see a
of
lot
the
of hand
smile
clapping,
of my little brother when he
nodding,
was a little
gritting
bit
teeth,
younger. In this age.
fussiness, all the things associated with autism, overstimulation
I
that
miss
we're
my
used to
family.
seeing, they're probably trying to say, hey,
I
I'm not
miss
having a
the
very
kids.
good time right now.
All
That's
are
not always the case,
adults
but
now.
just look for those signs, and if they become increasingly fussy, it means
And
they're
I miss
probably
the
going
point where
to
I
have a
could
meltdown soon.
show
So
that
things like blankets over
I'm
the
here.
head, if they want it,
And so no one
headphones, a
reaches
tablet with
out
their favorite
when
video game on it, or
struggling
maybe
to
a
me
YouTube video they
because
really like.
everyone is
There's all sorts of
thinking
things you
I
can
have
do.
no.
If they go into full meltdown mode, there's very little you can do except get them to a calm and quiet place. We painted our boy's bedroom blue. It has dark curtains. They can just go in there and regulate and calm down, and it could take 15 minutes. It could take several hours. Some meltdowns last
Maybe
several
if I had
hours.
someone
Those
who
are
cared
really, really
about
tough to deal
something
with.
like this,
But it's better that
I
you have a place for them
wouldn't
to
be
go,
sitting
so
now
they can
here with a
regulate.
bong,
And then when
cuddling
they've
with a
recouped, they can
bong.
come back out, and it's just like
Because
nothing
the
ever
only
happened.
best friend I have
We've
who
actually
can
had our
make
son,
that
our oldest, have these
I
terrible
can
meltdowns.
handle it.
And it's like he knows what's happening, but he's almost a spectator in his own body. And so when he comes to and he realizes what's happened, he'll come up to us and he'll be like, Dad, I'm so sorry I did that. Like, I don't know why I did that. And we know why he did that, why he was having a sensory meltdown, but he feels like he doesn't have control. And that's a really hard thing to watch when your kid doesn't feel like they have any control over their own body. So yeah, this video...
And in my case, oh, of course I have control over everything, and it was my fault that I was feeling the way I feel and reacting the way I react. And it makes me so angry. That's until now, and maybe forever, they will think I am on purpose overreacting and making stuff up, talking as if I had no control over my behavior. Because if you got constantly interrupted and never get the time to explain at first for yourself and then to the others, and all of this with no help. Way too young, Mom. Way too many losses that were not lost, but just simply got away from my life. Felt like I lost my dad and my sister and my best friend. But all of them just moved away. And there was not much contact left. The only one who's still some kind of there is Leah. Most of the time in the last some years she behaved like an asshole, but I can take this a while. And that she really got some things I said 3 weeks ago or something. The fact that she got to listen long enough to that I can get something out, and she recognized, maybe we should listen, because she's not talking nonsense. She's not talking Brutzenflick or hollow Finkelhuben. That's a coping mechanism to not do something like the thunder does in this second.
Video might have been a little disjointed, but basically we're just trying to help those who are dealing with this. It's sad because people often assume the worst of us, like, hey, you're just trying to turn your kids into some kind of sideshow.
And
by
I
putting them
wish
on
I can
YouTube
hold
online and
a kid
showing
and
these behaviors.
remind
And
a
I assure you
kid
that's not what we're doing.
to
That's not our
breathe.
intention. We love our children.
Because I
And
could.
we want to help those who are dealing with
I
this
could
too.
understand.
Any other tips and tricks, please leave them in the comments to
I
help out
could
the community.
relate
And
to it.
as always, thanks for watching,
Explain.
supporting the channel and the cause of autism. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
What the fuck? My internet got lost. Okay. I think I need to be a mom. But it was always, when I was younger, was always the thought of, I do not have to be alone all my life. Even if everything gets the worst way imaginable, I still can get some random guy get me pregnant, and I'm not alone any longer. And then there is someone I can care, like someone needs to be cared for. But other sides got to my mind when I grew up a little more. That this world isn't particularly a world where I want to set my child into. Kind of a curse. Kind of not the nicest future outcomes seen. What's happened with the internet? I don't like this. And the bright of the screen is too bright. I wish I could just turn the white downer to grayish and any other color left, like
all
they
these
are.
cables, Ezra.
Especially with toiletry, yeah.
Yeah.
So notice right here how he's fitting them all into his hands in between his fingers. Alistair, look at how many cables he has. He's got so many cables. He just likes them. He likes the cables.
I can relate
So he
it.
likes these wrappers, but only certain wrappers.
It happens for me sometimes too, but just by now.
For Halloween, he like literally would open his candy, throw the candy down, and hold the wrappers. And he kept all of his wrappers inside of his Halloween jacket.
So just the opposite of what every kid would do on Halloween. That's funny. Pretty cool. I wonder if it's the crinkle. Do you think it's the crinkle?
Yeah, he does like the crinkle, yep.
Uh-huh.
You like that one, is it? Is that one approved? Oh, yeah. That one approved.
was 7 months old, 7, 8, 9 months old. He could say Baba, and he would ask for his bottle. And he'd say Baba, and then he'd say Mama, Dada, and Num Num. And he would actually like use it to communicate. And I remember thinking in that time period, I was like, maybe he doesn't have autism, because I was thinking like from the very beginning, 3 months old, no eye contact forever. It's like maybe he does have autism, you know, because autism runs in our family and stuff. And so I was looking for that, but then it just stopped. Like in 9 months, he just didn't say anything. And
Just kind of hit that cliff that people talk about, right?
yeah, and so that was super like heartbreaking, because I had in my head of like, oh, he's gonna be able to communicate, like you know, he's gonna be able to communicate verbally, and then it just stopped, and he really hasn't, other than the one time when he was about 5 years old and it was really dark, and he came to me and he's just like, Mama.
Wow.
And I was just like a puddle of tears.
I would melt
I can
away.
imagine.
It was so meaningful, and I was like,
This is what I would call a meltdown.
So I'm gonna hold on to this moment, because it was so sweet. It was like a little gift.
Yeah.
I was like, he knows who I am. He knows I'm his mama.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if he can't say it. So that was really
Absolutely.
sweet.
He's just worried that someone's gonna take him away. Oh.
Yeah. He's got him well guarded.
Something like that happened to me when I was once on LSD. I did let someone take this Nintendo DS where I was driving the Rainbow Boulevard backwards for 7-8 hours. Then I had to drive it all forward to come to the end. But it's something else. But I feel how scary it is when someone wants to take this, what you need right now, away.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of that footage of Ezra. I just want to provide a little bit more context to this video. As you can see, Ezra's a bright young boy. He absolutely loves cables. What I wanted to point out is with autism, it's interesting to see that there's so many differences, yet there's so many similarities. So some of the obvious differences between Ezra and our boys is he's nonverbal. And, you know, with Ian, we thought he was going to be nonverbal. When he was about 2 or 3 years old, he only knew like mama, dada, and cars. Those are the only words he would speak.
That's another thing that's weird about myself. I pretty much learned how to talk way early while I was learning to walk. Both at the same time, and language comes naturally to me, because language is my special thing. I'm capable of is thinking, and language makes it easier, I guess. I don't know if I remember how to think without language. Maybe it's called feeling in this direction. I don't know. Maybe humans are missing something. I distracted me again. What did I wanted? You know, I started to talk, then same time started to walk. And with 3 years, I decided I will never ever need a diaper anymore. So I never ever wet my pants, even not at night, just because I don't know. I think even if everyone was telling me during my teenage years, I have no self-control and blah, 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 I have way too much of it. Way too much. Not control, but constrain. No one gets to see deeper. Because, you know, the feeling when everything about you is wrong, you don't want to show how you are. But now I don't care, because I'm not wrong. I'm autism.
So
Awesome.
it was kind of interesting to see him develop. About 4 and 5, he had a breakthrough, especially with speech therapy. And now we
It's
can't get
kind
him to
of
stop talking,
a curse and a
which is a great
superpower
problem
at the
to have,
same
right?
time.
So that is a very big difference. Also, none of our kids
I would
care
never
about
change it.
cables or cords or
Never,
anything like
ever.
that. They have their own interests and own
Never.
hobbies. But going along those lines,
I
that's where
don't
there's
want
very strong
scratching the
similarities. They have
surface.
very strong
I'm
obsessions.
deep
And another thing
diving,
we noticed
melting
is the eye
down
contact thing. They all have issues with eye
and turning
contact. I know
around,
that's a
and
generalization. Some people get mad when we say most people on the spectrum have poor eye contact. We know there's always exceptions, obviously, but
you
I
can
think
learn
as a general
anything
rule,
in
eye
the right
contact
case.
issues is a thing in the autism spectrum. Another thing I want to mention too is the stimming, the hand clapping, things like that. That's common among
The hand
all of our
biting
boys
is
with
something I have
the
to
Andersons
be
and
aware
us
of, that it
and our
doesn't
kids. So it's
get
just,
to, you see,
we wanted to put out this
some
video just
tiny,
to show you that,
this is
yeah, there's a
actually
lot of
some
differences,
else,
but there's also a
but
lot of
over here
similarities. And we hope
it
that
can't
actually
see
showing these
pretty much
things
something.
is helpful to the community, because as we've said many
I
times,
got it once
a
way
word
too
is one
purple
word, a
down,
picture's worth
almost
1,000 words, a
bite it
video's
off.
worth 1,000,000 words. And seeing things
Sorry, I have,
I know that's a generalization, and some people get mad when we say most people on the spectrum have poor eye contact. We know there's always exceptions, obviously,
what means poor?
but I think as a general
Autism guys, autism beings maybe can struggle with eye contact and all the non-verbal and verbal and misunderstanding stuff that comes with it.
role, eye contact issues is a thing in the autism spectrum.
And maybe I'm just a stupid idiot and have no clue how autism people feel, and just am in such a need for relating to something that I think I can feel how they feel, and maybe can guess why. Maybe if I have autism, I have to do something in science. Get some study done, because not every autistic being is able to communicate in 2 languages, almost fluent in one, the other one over fluent. And it's just, I think, an autistic being with special interest, focus, and I don't know, talent is the wrong word. Some advanced language skills. Not everyone has it. And I wish that I could be some connection, communicating thing in some way for someone who has really heavy difficulties. But me understanding where and why, giving the struggling one the time and resources and ideas, and I have to learn much and more, and I don't know anything. But sometimes I wish what I'm feeling and sensing and relating isn't just wrong, but almost not. I don't know.